Gonna lose the weight, gonna lose the weight, gonna lose the weight.
Do some weights, do some weights, do some weights with me.
Hiya, this is now episode 4 of Man vs. Carbs. It's the weigh-in day. The scales were being a little bit funny with me, but I obviously got a result that was concise and actually just worked the most after several attempts and stuff. And that came down to 21 stone and 9 pounds. So that's a significant loss, obviously, from the start when I was in 22 ballpark. So I've only really been on at the diet for like so much a week and a bit now. So there's obviously a serious amount of weight loss, as anyone who actually does Sonoma Keto will notice there is a large amount of water weight loss, and sort of what loss as your body sort of customizes to the idea that you're not having just sugars. So you're basically avoiding the sugars, and it's the fats and it's the proteins and it's the vegetables for your fiber. And obviously some degree of fruits, but not as much because they're obviously very sugary, and fructose is negligible. It's still sugar. And though it has fiber in it, that stops it from going straight to the diabetic response, insulin resistant response. So, carrying on with that, I have obviously not done the measurements so far of the arms or the waist or the leg just yet, which I'll save up for another point in the video, and another video maybe later on this week. I do intend to probably throw in another good walk there at some point. Maybe if the weather holds out, we'll probably have a go for a walk up at Campdown Park. That would probably be quite nice. But, as things go, it seems to be that I'm enjoying the diet still. I'm really not feeling limited. The only thing is that I would say is I get the occasional headache, but I think that's because I'm losing salts. And I need to somehow increase my salts added to certain foods, because I've for years never really bothered to add salt to extra stuff. So, but for keto, you do need to add extra salt because you do lose a lot of it, because it's like a lot of water loss, loss as everything's sort of acclimatizing to not eating sugars. So there will be some degree of water loss. That's a given. That is a given. So I'm probably sure that there's probably a degree of fat loss, but there's probably more water loss than fat loss at the moment. So we're only like a week and a bit into it, so there will probably be more dramatic changes. But, if more astute of you would notice that, skin's not as flabby, your chin is not as doubly, and my pale complexion's got a little bit more ruddy, because I've been out and about in the sun. Carrying on the same regime that was set up by the company that that took my bloods. I'm still carrying on the omega fish oil and the vitamin D tablet, in addition to what I'm doing with keto. Obviously checking certain stuff. I'm also considering the idea of intermittent fasting, but to be honest, I'm kind of sort of doing that anyway, because I always tend to end up, I'm a bit of a lazy boy, so I get out late, because I stay up late. But it's obviously, I wait until about like 2:30, near 3 o'clock before I actually ate my quote unquote breakfast. So that's obviously a long period of fasting between point A and point B, which is not actually a bad thing in general. It's actually quite good for you to fast a little bit, but it boosts your metabolism to eat into its fats as well. The only concern I have, other than having a slightly upset stomach, but that's just expected, fats and stuff going to do that, but is the lack of salts and bits of headaches. So the headaches that pop up every now and then, they're annoying. So that just means I need to add more salt to my stuff, because too much sodium is, it's actually not really as possible as what they would said before to have too much sodium. Like, yeah, I'm not going to drink salt water, I'm not mental, but it's just, one of those things. So probably going to take on a more adventurous walk away from the house, probably involving a car drive. Maybe solo, maybe not. I think my walking partner with me at the moment, he's feeling a little bit under the weather. He's got a bit of a cough. Nothing major, so no worries. But, best not to have him overstrenuate himself. I'll be the guy doing it this week. So hopefully, if the weather holds out and the partner doesn't steal the car, I can get a walk up to Campdown. You can obviously take him on the trail, just have a wee natter like before. Probably not keep it as long as last time, because I think half an hour is a bit long. But, obviously it's a very popular video. It seems to be the most popular video so far in the channel, because we got up to 66 or 67 views on that alone, which is really good. But, obviously more likes and subscriptions would be amazing. Obviously joining me on Twitter, even better. But if you like and subscribe and share the video, I would really appreciate that, because obviously the more that happens, the more it can grow for the channel. And this is more of a life's journey, and I may continue this continuously rather than just sort of until I've lost the ideal weight. Because, you know, you want to follow in, you want to sort of see how it goes as a keto lifestyle rather than a short change. Because I'm not shortchanging this. I'm intending to do this as long as humanly possible. And when the next set of blood results come in, because they're going to come in 6 months, I have to take a lovely home blood test. Such fun. Such stabbing of my fingers. It was great fun having the bruising for a bit, you know. But that hopefully will have made my results a lot better, and the lipid function would have been dealt with, and I wouldn't have be on the rocketing way to fatty liver syndrome. So hopefully that's the best. Avoid the sugar and avoid the excess carbs, which essentially make into sugars, pastas and wheats and such forth. Do have insulin spikes later, but they're slower, but they do cause this spiking of blood sugar, which is the problem, which is what brings on type 2 diabetes. And I'm obviously trying to avoid that. Not that I was as close to that as my partner was, but to be honest, it's like easier if we both go together with it. And yeah, I mean, you get someone to back you up, and it doesn't feel as much as like you're doing this. Which at the beginning of everything, I had a moment where I was told to go on FODMAP, a low FODMAP diet. That was horrendous, because the bread itself and all these other things taste like weird chemicals, and I'm not actually au fait with that many sort of like wheat-free alternatives, and I did obviously have some of them because it's to do with sugars and wheat, and generally speaking, like one of the weird ones is onions and garlic. Was one of the ones that set off low FODMAP. Who knew? Like, you know what I mean? I've eaten onions, garlic like most of my life. Probably added some degree issue all the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. I just assumed it was just milk, but not so much. Right? Anyway, this is not going to be a long one, so I'll wrap it up fairly quickly. Feel free to like, subscribe, follow along, share the video. Just tell your friends. You know, if it's a bit laugh, you know, it's a laugh. As well as other stuff. If you feel like you want to comment something interesting, and I will respond, feel free. I'm really keen. There is comments and follow along, so that means there's an active audience base. So I'm very chuffed with that. Obviously, if some people could take inspiration from this and carry on their own diet journey, that would be amazing. And to help people lose weight, it's one of the hardest things to do. I've tried to do it most of my life, and you really need to try. So it's a whole mindset change, as well as just eating, you know, meat, fat, veg, and, you know. But the macros are the interesting bit, and you will need to actually probably invest in getting premium for that. But, you know, as everyone's pointing out before, it's a tight time. You don't really want to be throw the money down the toilet. But, you know, so it's not something you want to throw money down unless you're like really sort of thinking it's a good idea. Mostly probably for the macros and sort of make sure that like I've got all the carbs right, which, because you're only allowed a tiny amount of carbs. Like obviously there's only a little bit of carbs, but you know, you don't really, it's not quote on carb, because some things you would think don't have carbs, but they do, like certain vegetables, carbs. Yeah, weird, but that's what it is. And obviously, quite a lot of the stuff what they do with like meats and stuff, they always seem to add carbs. It's just a weird one. Anyway, yeah, well, that's enough wittering for now. I'm probably firing off at least another video, maybe two videos this week in addition to this. But today is the weigh-in, and final thoughts for this is 21 stone 9. Haven't taken the measurements for the waist and the arms and legs, but I will probably do that later in the week. And stay tuned, follow, subscribe, comment, and share. And that's me, Dan, saying sayonara. The continuation of episode 4, mostly because I haven't managed to be able to go for a walk because the weather's been a bit shit. Obviously Scottish summers. So I thought I'd just show you some of my form of what I'm doing more weight-wise. Nothing major, nothing too strenuous. I also might do some physio exercises as well, but it'll be a bit harder to record them because, well, it's a lot of weirder movements. So I'll just show you the weightlifting, preferably if it's just myself in shot, but currently someone else is in the house at the moment, so you might hear some random button pressings because he's hammering buttons on a control pad. And he's going to occasionally swear. rather oddly, because I think he's playing a hard Dark Souls game. This is why you never think you need a fucking selfie stick until you need one. Anyway. So, just some standard arm curls to start with. Right, the key is not sets or numbers, is to do it till you can't do anymore. So I did about 35 there. So obviously I do other ones as well. So there is shoulder extensions. 2. Okay, so that's shoulder presses. Also do side extensions as well. So 1, 2, 3. That's a lot harder. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. There's also something else as well that you obviously won't see. It's what they call a shrug, which I'm doing as well. So you hold the weights outwards and you shrug the shoulders. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. So I typically do as many as I can. So typically I'll maybe do 2 sets of that, which, you're not really going to go sets, you just do it as much as long as you can. And we're firing about the house and generally just doing your other stuff and cleaning and all that. Just a little bit of time for that, and then actually do some physio stuff, but that's a little bit more awkward and I might require a camera assistant for that, so probably won't be doing that on camera right now, probably maybe later. Hopefully the weather clears up and I can actually get a walk at someplace more exciting than the Harbour Road, Dawson Park, but you got to see these things. I mean, you meant to do warm up. I was a bit of a bad boy, I didn't, but I called the warm up of clean the house. Good warm up that. Anyway, that's all for today. Feel free to like, subscribe. Episode 5, hopefully, will be more interesting when I get to go for a walk if the weather's nice. And I get access to the car. And I don't have to fight my missus for it. But, these things happen. Anyway, that's enough for now. Sayonara propers.
Thanks for watching. See you